I was actually really thinking about it when I was doing a mixtape for a girlfriend, and she actually helped convince me to start doing it. And so far it's pretty fun, even though we only have one release out. It's like, you know, there's a few things on the horizon, and I don't know, I've always liked doing music, and it's just like a more affordable way to get stuff out. It just seems, you know, to make sense for me. It's for like DIY artists that are just want to get their stuff out. I really dig doing packaging, which is where, I don't know, there's a surprising amount with cassettes, because like I had a band before Dan that I'm playing in now that like we try to just make ridiculous packaging, like wrap around, you know, patches and like ridiculous like folding out inserts and shit like that. And so the format itself lends itself to a certain amount of creativity that is kind of hard to do, or again would be more expensive doing it any other way. Like with a CDR, it's like it's kind of not really the CDR is kind of cheap, you know. I can't really buy one. If somebody gave it to me, sure, but and then opposite end of the spectrum, vinyl's kind of expensive. Packaging, or you know, putting it out anyway. But yeah, I just dig doing the packaging quite a bit, and it's convenient as well. It's got a face. You know, I collect a lot of like cassettes that are being put out right now, and so I get ideas from other people, but I've like really been getting into like messy abstract stuff, and that works for Den. And then as far as making anything else, it's just like whatever seems appropriate, you know. I like doing things by hand the best, but a lot of times I end up doing digital stuff just because it's faster and you have a little bit more control. Because I never seem to have the time that I'd like to for anything. The goal is to keep them pro-dubbed and printed just because it looks really nice. I really like the way, you know, like ink on a shell looks. I don't know, I also like dubbing things too. Like with the Den tape, we had to dub the second side ourselves because there's this Black Sabbath cover on there, and we were kind of scared of like copyright infringement, especially when you're signing forms and stuff, and it's like, I don't want to go to jail, I'll dub it myself, you know. I don't know if that's a legitimate concern. It looks better being printed and dubbed, but I don't have a problem dubbing it myself, although my deck is broken and I can only rip tapes rather than dub them right now, so that sort of sucks. Well, that's like, you know, sort of, I've looked around and asked people about that too, and I find it kind of weird that it's like after costs are covered, it's generally like 20%. And like my plan is to do probably like 60-40, like 60 Retrograde, 40 artists, because I don't know, it seems like as an artist I'd rather, you know, have more of my stuff, but at the same time, you know, I can understand, you know, when the label's forking it all over, but you know, cassettes are pretty financially feasible way to put more in the hands of the artist, so I'd like to be able to do that. Whether or not it breaks my bank yet, remains to be seen. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, people that I know that have bought the tape have been like, hey, here's MP3s of it, you know, it'll save you the trouble of ripping it, and it sounds a little better. But at the same time, I feel like that could sort of break the aesthetic of the tape in the first place, you know, because I really like that with a tape, like, you're almost forced to listen to it the whole way through, excuse me, like side by side, and you realize like, oh, there's a reason that, you know, the artist put this song after this song, or, you know, with more drone or experimental stuff, it's like it'll just be a sidelong like slab, you know, and it's you're more immersed that way. I feel, you know, you get more drawn into it, and it's hard to get that with MP3s. You can be like, I don't really like that song, skip it, you know. So I guess if people ask for it, I would, you know. I'm not completely opposed to it, but I don't think I'll go out of my way to make it available. I've been at the house, it'll be 2 years. I think it's still gaining steam, because you see them popping up all over, and you know, Retrograde's real new. So I think there'll be quite a bit more before it dies out, because you know it's kind of it's unmistakable that it's, you know, like a popular thing to do right now. But I don't know, like anything else, it'll die off, and the people that want to keep doing it will, and then people, you know, other people move on to other stuff.